Hi everyone and welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. Man, I've been filming with my hands recently and you're not going to get to see that. You're going to see that progressively until April. But it feels good to be back showing my somewhat decent face, getting back into the swing of things. I've been working on my new space and there should be a video somewhere about my new space. But anyways, we're going to come back. So if you haven't seen my full room tour video yet, um, my comic book reviews are not going to be returning until April. And the reason is because I need to read them, and I'm very slow at reading, and unfortunately, there is no audio books to read comic books. So, until I can at least get two comic books read, I'm trying to get at least three comic books read. I'm going to be focusing on some other types of videos, and I'm hoping to at least get one up by April. One. I just want to get one Comic Book Tuesday to have him back in April. That's the goal. I've set my mind on that goal. And after I'm done filming this video, I'm going to go and start working on getting some comic books read. Because it's been a long time since I read a comic book, and those things make me very happy. So, without further ado, let's dive into Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So, a few things that you may not know. I have been a huge Harry Potter fan since I was the age of 4, and my sister had rented it on from Blockbuster. When Blockbuster was still around, you could rent movies at Blockbuster, and she went to Blockbuster, saw this movie that looked interesting, and went and we rented it. And therefore, I got to watch it with her. And I absolutely, from that point on, have been a huge Harry Potter fan. For people who know me from Chamber of Pops on Instagram, everyone knows I have been a huge Harry Potter fan and that I love showing off my collection. And I have, in the next few months, a bunch of bonus videos coming out related to Harry Potter. And I cannot wait to finally get those videos out there. So for now, I thought it would be a good idea to read and relook at the Harry Potter books and review them. Now, these reviews are going to be a lot different. One, because I actually had to take notes on them. And two, I don't know how I can make these videos under 5 minutes long and not go into the amount of detail that I go into. Because there's so much to be talked about. So without further ado, let's dive deep into Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone came out in the UK. So this is the UK. This is the UK date on June 26, 1997 in the UK. So that's the UK date. It was released in the US September 1st, 1998. Okay? So, overall, how many times have I ever read the books before? Because I've said already I was a fan of the movies. Yes, I've read these books about a billion times. But I've never looked at these books from a review type lens. And I'm so excited to do it. Now, for those who don't know, I would love in my life to become an author. And I just need to get some water now, finish my train of thought. And that need to want to become an author stemmed from my love of reading the Harry Potter books over the years. So, as we look into these Harry Potter books, we're going to dive really deep into them. And I'm going to try to get these videos out every 1 to 2, maybe even 3 months. I'll try to get a new Harry Potter book review. I'm really slow at reading, and I'm reading 7 or 8 books right now because I have one Harry Potter book and then 6 to 7 comic books I'm trying to get read at the same time. So yeah, it's taking me a while, and I have some other books I really want to review, and I'm trying to listen to those ones as well. So, without further ado, let's dive deep into Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So, the first 3 chapters of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone are 3 of the most cruciating chapters you'd ever... Like, it's so hard not to to get past the first three chapters. So, why is that? And that's a question we have to ask ourselves. Why can't we get past the first three chapters? Well, when we look at Harry's story, Harry is a boy who finds out that he is a wizard after his parents get murdered when he was only a baby. He finds out and he's shipped off to go live with his aunt and uncle. And then when he turns 11 and he's able old enough to go to Hogwarts, he finds out that he's a wizard. And the first three chapters with how his aunt and uncle and nephew treat him are the worst to get through. His oh man. Even McGonagall calls um talks about how horror she goes to Dumbledore when Dumbledore's dropping Harry off at his aunt and uncle's. She's talking about how horrible these muggles, which are non-magical people, are. And it is horrible to read. It's horrible to read what Dudley does to torment Harry. It's horrible to read the way Uncle Vernon and Petunia treat Harry. It is just a horrible thing to read. And it was so hard to get through the first three chapters of this book. And even now, after reading these books a billion times, it doesn't get easier. Normally, I just skim through the first three chapters, and then I quickly get through them as quickly as I can. And then when I get to chapter 4, which is where we meet Hagrid, who is a gameskeeper, and he is I have it here, keeper of the keys at Hogwarts, and he takes care of the grounds and all that stuff for Hogwarts. Well, when we meet Hagrid, and Hagrid finally says to Harry that he's a wizard, oh my god, my heart sank for joy. Because I thought Harry's finally leaving the Dursleys. He's finally going to get to have a happiness. And I was right, and he finally does get happiness. Now, going back through that whole sequence, I thought was great. Just chapter 4 in general. The way Hagrid treats the Dursleys is he's like, oh, you guys have been rude to Harry for a long time? Well, here, let me give you some of your own medicine. And it's absolutely brilliant. I love Hagrid, and it just made me love the character from the get-go. Like, I was just like, can I just give Hagrid a big hug? Like, he is just winning every single award right now as why he's a great character. And as Harry learns he's a wizard, he goes to Diagon Alley, he gets his school supplies, he gets a pet named he gets an owl named Hedwig, he meets his friends Ron and Hermione, you have the headmaster Dumbledore just being awesome as ever, you have Snape being Snape and being all grouchy, you have a bully named Draco, and you have an evil wizard trying to do Voldemort's bidding named Professor Quirrell. And yes, we are diving into spoilers. It is brilliant, this book. Now, a few things I need to I need to praise J.K. Rowling for is the attention to detail that she gives in these books. She goes into so much detail, and it is just amazing. She makes you feel like as you're reading or listening to these books, you're in this wizarding world. And she'll just spend like a whole chapter or the next few paragraphs describing one thing, and it's with a level of detail that's like, if a book is here, it's like here, and it is amazing. She really sucks you into this world, and it's so brilliant to read about. And personally, I prefer reading these books more than I enjoy watching the movies, because yes, I love seeing this world in real time, and the movies in some ways make me feel like, one, I'm in the wizarding world, but the books really suck me into the wizarding world. I loved it. I loved from chapter 4 on, I really started loving this book. And you can start seeing the book I'm using my pen. Um, you start seeing the book just follow a nice, beautiful straight line, and it is brilliant. So, anyways, and she makes choices. J.K. Rowling writes choices in these books that I absolutely love. One, some of them, if you read them as much as I have, you know she's setting up the next six stories. Other times, you know she knows a lot more, or she makes choices, and whether it doesn't make sense as to why Harry, Ron, or Hermione would do something now, it'll make sense by either the end of the book or by the end of the series, which I love. And it's these choices that she makes that are so brilliant and so well. So after Hagrid takes Harry from the Dursleys, he takes him to Diagon Alley to get his school supplies. And again, that level of detail, the way she describes Diagon Alley and the shops, is so detailed filled. It was brilliant to read. It was brilliant to read about Gringotts. It was brilliant just to read about the entire experience. Of course, she gives Harry an owl. Now, I personally am terrified of all kinds of birds. I am just scared of, and I'm even more terrified of owls. I will not bring an owl to Hogwarts if I was going to go. Where is my Hogwarts letter? I'm 23 years old. I still have not got my Hogwarts letter, but if I had to bring any pet to Hogwarts, I'm going to say it right now, I'm bringing a cat. And any owls that fly by, I am going to be scared. Oh my god. That brings me to when we get onto, and I kind of said that a little prematurely, but it'll make sense in a little bit. So give me a few minutes. So, anyways, after Harry gets all school supplies, he has to go back to the Dursleys, but the Dursleys are really scared of him. Then they take him to King's Cross. They drop him off at King's Cross Station, and he meets the Weasleys. He meets Ron Weasley, and they help him get onto the platform 9 3/4. He's on the train. Ron's like, all these other compartments are full, and they start sitting together. They start talking and talking, and the Weasley twins, Fred and George, who help Harry get his stuff on the train, they start spreading down the rumor that they met Harry Potter, and that Harry Potter, who is the famous Harry Potter, who as a baby defeats Voldemort, and parents died in the process. All that stuff comes about, and yeah, that is all brilliant levels of detail. It's so much fun to read. I love it when Harry in the book says, "We'll take the lot," that he'll take the lot. I love that line take there, and it's such a brilliant line. He's eating all these sweets. He's wanting to try a little bit of everything. I want to try a lot of these Wizarding World sweets. The only sweet I will not be trying is Birdie Bot's every flavored beans. Well, I've tried, what is it called? There's Birdie Bot's, oh my god. They make Birdie Bot's every flavored beans here. I don't have my phone on me. Where's my phone? It's that Bamboozle challenge. Do I have my phone with me right now? No. Okay. Well, I can't remember what it is right now. Oh, yeah, I do. Hey, Suri. What is the Bamboozled challenge?
Okay, I found this on the web for what is the Bamboozled challenge. Check it out.
Oh, here it is. Okay, so Jelly Bean. Gotta unlock my phone. Okay, here it is. So Jelly Belly came up with the Bamboozle challenge, which is exactly like Birdie Bot's. They actually make Bamboozled. Uh, the idea for the Bamboozled challenge, or the Bamboozled jelly beans, were inspired by this book, and it's the one where you could taste one jelly bean and you either gonna get um, birthday cake or dirty dishwasher, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, anyways, that whole thing was started because of Harry Potter. Birdie wants every flavor bean. So I have tried Jelly Belly's bamboozled beans, and they were not fun. And I ended up throwing them out. I ended up spending like $20 on some big thing of it, and I ended up throwing it out. Anyways, so back to what I was saying. That's the only sweet I will not try because I do not look forward to getting a jelly bean with a jelly bean flavored earwax flavored jelly bean. Anyway, so I love how Harry and Ron meet and become friends. I actually really liked the bully Draco as well. I thought he's so mean and has that he has a face that like as a character you want to punch, but then it's like, oh, I kind of like it. I think it's like as like maybe a comedy act to have him around. And I kind of like that. I liked too that J.K. Rowling does another strategic move. Is Hermione doesn't become friends with Harry and Ron until about chapter 10. Now she meets them on the Hogwarts Express, but she comes off as like a know-it-all, and I loved that. I loved her coming off. And Harry and Ron get so ticked off, and it wasn't until chapter 10, the chapter is called Halloween, that she's where Harry and Ron have to save her from a dragon, and they're like, okay, we'll keep her around. She'll be our friend, and yeah, overall, this story just is progressively gets better. Now, the reason why I mentioned why I hate owls when I'm terrified of owls, and the reason why I said we'll never bring an owl, I almost said it earlier, is because when talking about Hogwarts and going to Hogwarts and the Sorting Hat and all that stuff, that all is one a great level of detail that J.K. Rowling adds in this book. But then she gets into something else with this book. She's talking about how the owls will swarm in and give mail. If I had saw that, if I was at Hogwarts, I would be scared out of my mind. Like I would have to go to Madame Pomfrey to get some kind of fear out of me because that would just give me fear. The Dementors out there would be able to feed me for hours just showing me owls. I hate owls. They'll feed off my soul for hours because my greatest fears in life are, of course, birds and bird type people. And I would just stick to owning a cat. That's me, though. But that's me. Anyways, so again, I love what J.K. Rowling did with this novel. Now, skipping ahead by a lot, we have some very nice stories about Quidditch, and I enjoy reading about Quidditch. I actually got to play Quidditch for an event, and I got to try it. And I got to play it a few years ago, it was Muggle version, and it was hard, and that's a story for another day. But anyways, I really enjoyed, again, a lot of this book. A lot of this book is very brilliant, and there's a lot to love. There's a lot that almost makes me feel like I'm in the world of Harry Potter, and I really wish it didn't do this because then it just makes me want to be in the world of Harry Potter even more. But now skipping to the end of the novel, where we get to Harry has to face Voldemort, who, spoiler alert, somehow has attached himself to the back of Professor Quirrell's head, and that was just so suspenseful of them. And the whole time you're thinking of Snape because you're thinking Snape's been after Harry all year. Why not take this as an opportunity to kill him for Voldemort or have Voldemort go after him? And yeah, when I thought it was Quirrell, it was like the first time I read it, it took me back. But no, it was very brilliant. And yes, I know what happens with Snape at the end of the novel at Deathly Hallows. We're not going to talk about it, and we're not going to talk about it until we get to Deathly Hallows. But anyways, oh my god, I just loved it, everything. I loved Dumbledore. I loved what Dumbledore how Dumbledore talks, the way he talks about the mirror of Ezred or erased. I loved that. I love just everything about this book, and there's so much about this book that is so brilliant that I love. Now, what would I rate this book as an overall reading experience? A 10 out of 10. Even the things I found terrible, like the Dursleys, I still would say it's told beautifully. Quirrell's told beautifully. There's a lot of suspenseful moments when you're reading about Quidditch, or you're reading the end of the book where Harry has to face Voldemort, or an entity of Voldemort, I would say, because I wouldn't really call him well, he's not up to full power. A weaker version of Voldemort. Yeah, that's what I would say. Or you're going into the Forbidden Forest and you're reading about them trying to find a dead unicorn to either, I don't know, almost kill, or if it's already dead. All that is very suspenseful, and it's actually really brilliant, and I really enjoyed this book. So I would rate this book a 10. Now, fun fact, this book has been on one of the top recommended books series for young children and adults, and I think a lot of people can really enjoy these books. So overall, I recommend Harry Potter and Philosopher's Stone? Absolutely. I have recommended it in the past. I love these books. These books are brilliant, and I would highly recommend them. And overall, they are fantastic books to read. Anyways, guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And please make sure to have the notifications on so that way you guys can get notified when I upload a brand new video or a bonus video sometimes. And I'll see you guys very soon with a brand new I'll see you guys in whenever time with Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets review. Bye, guys.